Hey guys, I ended up missing my schedule. Sucks, I just said it, so I didn't really want to miss it, but I did. So today's my off day. Normally when I take Sundays off, not for any particular reason, just I set a schedule. Wrote it up on the board, wrote it on the wall, and I want to stick to it. I only have one day off. It's not like I have a lot to do, it's just only one day that I have nothing to worry about. Everything else can be worried about amongst the other 6 days. But anyways, let's get back to it. I got into gaming. That's kind of what we were talking about last time. I met Jake and all those guys. Jake lives in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I've yet to be able to physically meet him. It's in the cards. I should have been able to meet him, but certain situations made it to where I couldn't. I was pretty much on his front door, but I didn't go to the front door, so it was my bad. It is what it is. But yeah, growing up, my mom divorced my dad when she was 2, so I didn't really know that marriage. And then I lived with my mother. She was a single mom, and up until I was 5, I was an only child. And then my little brother was born, Connor. At that point, I had to grow up kind of quick. I didn't really know it, but I ended up learning how to cook, learning how to clean, learning how to think for another person right around 6. When I turned 6, because Connor had a rough childhood as well. I don't want to share a lot, but I have to share just enough so you know. His actual father is a piece of shit. That's the easiest way I can put it, and he'd probably thank me for saying that and that alone. If I could ever talk to that man, I would. But yeah, he came around, I think it was 3 times, 4 times total in Connor's life so far, throughout his entire life. Connor's 28, he's 23. So 4 or 5 times, 23-year-old man. The first time he was 1, dropped off some diapers, didn't show back up until he was about 12. And when he was 12, he came around the next 3 or 4 times. The first time it was, I'm here to stay and I'm here to make a relationship and I want to mend what I broke. Gave him a TV, everything was hunky-dory, lived with us for a while, that's why I did it. And then he was gone. Connor kind of understood, but he was like, you know what, whatever, I got this badass TV, it plays DVDs, it was one of those, you can play a DVD in the TV. And about a week later he comes back and he grabs the TV and leaves again. So, that's the type of person he was. I knew that very early, that's why I grew up a little quicker. Helped take care of him, helped take care of my mom. I don't know, maybe that's what made me a thinker too, because I didn't think too many things were fair, and then I would say something and everybody's like, yeah, life's not fair. But to what extent? To what extent? No, but see, she's like, this ain't fair. I wish I could let her out, but she chased donkeys. And if she chases donkeys, either A, the donkeys will run until they die, B, they'll turn around and kill her, or C, the people that own the donkeys will come out and shoot her. Or D, I'll have to run after her. And D's not an option, so I'm just not going to let her out there. I'll walk her. But, anyways, I think that it's not fair. I think that we're past the point of fairness in a lot of aspects of this life. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one. All I know is I've felt alone for so very long. I'm 28 and I've made it here. I've heard complaints from everyone else about how hard their life is. And I still take the time to love the ones around me. But people can't do that regardless of what they have. And it's frustrating. That's what's not fair. I'm not talking about my stick I drew of life, the hand that was dealt. I'm talking about we were all dealt a certain hand. We can't understand that somebody else was dealt a different hand. And we can't respect that person for everything that they've gone through without knowing it. And it's kind of crazy to me that that's the way it is. See, because I was raised on it. Something Jake would never tell you. And he's going to kind of get on to me for saying it. It's just, that's what type of person he was. So, since I was in there at 12, I learned it. Plain and simple. I didn't need to know where he was at. I didn't need to know what he was doing. We hopped on the game and he wasn't even talking to me, talking to Rig, talking to Blaine, talking to Johnny, anybody. I listened. I was a kid, shouldn't have known. But I knew he was good. I respected him for what he was, a good person, even though he wasn't. And he'll say it. There were multiple things that he probably, with a straighter mind, wouldn't have done. I'm not saying he'd take it back, but he wouldn't have done it. So, that being said, I knew he's good. I knew he's fine. I know he's got my back. That's what type of person he is. Now, that's another person that came from a rough bring up. I don't know exactly how rough his was compared to mine, but I know it was rough. So, maybe it's that. Then again, I was in the military and I met a lot of people. And they didn't all come from that. And there were quite a lot of people that seemed to at least have some wherewithal to have awareness for people around them as well as self-awareness. But so 5, my little brother's born. My mom, she moves us out. I've gone to every town in Texas, it seems like. I mean, I've lived in San Antonio, I've lived in Florence, I've lived in Georgetown, I've lived near Round Rock and Pflugerville and Austin, which is near Pflugerville, but all that area really, and then Granbury, Fort Worth area, Dallas, Houston area, Amarillo area. Man, I've lived everywhere, but we ended up moving somewhere, I think it was Florence. We were in this like barn house, kind of started everything there, and I wanted to, actually before Connor was even born, my mom, she asked me, she goes, what do you want to name your little brother? You're going to have a little brother. And since his dad's not going to be here, I figure I might as well ask you. You're pretty much going to be the man of the house. I was like, whew, I didn't hear any of that. I was already thinking of a cool name. I was a little kid and I can remember it. I'm sitting in the front seat and I'm looking at, we're taking this wide bend left to right, and there is, I want to say a Dell company. I can't remember, to my right. And I was kind of looking at the building just thinking. And I saw this plane of grass and I was like, what have you always wanted to be? And I was like, man, I've always wanted to be fast. Like, if I could be fast. Yeah, if I could beat people in races and stuff, people would call me fast and speedy. Mom, can we name my little brother Speedy? And I got laughed at for that. Unfortunately, I have heard names such as that, so I feel pretty bad for myself that I missed out on it. I'd have a cool little speedy little brother. But she went with Connor instead. But that little boy, he was terrible twos from almost the second he was born until, shoot, he got out the jail. He got out of jail for the second time, third time. I mean, that kid, I love him to death, but he was the most stubborn, the most hard-headed individual. You couldn't teach him nothing he didn't want to learn. And if he wanted to learn it, normally he'd have to teach himself. Like, he wouldn't listen to nobody, ever. He always knew what was best for him. But he's still doing good. He's got a baby. He's taking care of that baby. At least so far as I know. As long as he's happy, healthy, and alive, I don't care where he's at. I know he'll call me when he needs me. And hopefully he'll just give me a call to say what's up sometime. But we moved everywhere. I remember a few places significantly, and I want to stop at a couple of them just because I find it interesting. Like, I don't understand exactly why you remember certain stuff. I can tell for some of the most part it's a trauma, or it's a gift, or it's some type of, not necessarily life but mind altering event that when you are in the middle of thinking about nothing and having fun as a kid, something or somebody snaps you out of it and makes you think about it and appreciate that, good, bad, or indifferent. So I mean, I remember real young, I used to open this door. I don't remember where we lived, what town we were in. My mom might be able to say it if I felt like talking to her. Either way, the doors of these apartment complexes were thick metal. At least to me, felt like thick metal. Shouldn't have been that thick, but as thick as my skull was, because I'd open that door and I wouldn't move my foot, and I'd bust my nail off. I don't know how many times. I know at least three. At least 3 times I hit my foot on that. I know at least one time walking upstairs to go play, there was this Nintendo game. If somebody ever watches this and wants to help me out, it was a marble. You are a marble, and it was, you literally just go through mazes and different tracks and stuff like that. But that game was awesome. I went upstairs and I was going to go hang out with a friend and play her Nintendo. And while walking upstairs, I step on a nail as just a little kid, like, and it just right through. I don't remember that pain. I don't. Like, right now, my feet feel weird thinking about it, but I don't remember that pain. I remember the pain of my toenails, and I remember the pain of the tickle juice, or, you know, the alcohol that my mom would put on it disguised as tickle juice. I remember how much that burned. There was a short amount of time I truly did believe it made me tickle. Like, it didn't hurt that bad. But maybe she just switched it in here and there and didn't let me know. There was something else that she was pouring on me in a different bottle that looked the same. She's smart, so I could see it. So yeah, we were in an apartment complex. I think at that point we either had a single cab truck. Woo, I barely remember that one. It was like a gray truck, maybe Nissan. I don't know, Mom fact check me. After that we were in like a Dodge Neon. I mean, we had so many cars. I don't even want to go through all that. But at that point we were in some kind of Dodge Neon or something like that. And where we moved to after that, I don't know. Either way, I guess I'll just jump into the real start of a life. My mom met Daryl, a quiet man. They got married. We conjoined families. Daryl and Mary, his daughter, my mom, myself, and Connor. I'm sorry if my head was down the whole time. We moved to Granbury, Texas in, I don't want to guess the year. I was in 2nd grade. Or I just got done with 2nd grade. I don't remember. Either one. And I get there, and we're there for about a year, maybe, not even. Doesn't seem that long, probably about 6 months now. I'm really thinking about it because when we moved there, he was already living in a duplex with his daughter. That place was small enough, but big enough for the both of them. It was big enough for the both of them, too small for all of us, realistically. And that's why we kind of hightailed it out of there. We got a nice double wide trailer. But boy, I mean, I'm telling you that, who cares? Like, that shit, it's what you make it. So, but yeah, and we go get a full acre. Maybe two. I'm pretty sure it's just a full acre because we had 2 lots and they were both about, I think they're both 0.5 acreage. So I think, yeah, we got a full acreage and it was literally in between 2 lines of trees until that got ruined. And technically like 3 because the back was brush until they built houses back there as well that were very, very nice houses and they wanted to kick everybody out sooner or later. But anyways, yeah, we moved there and like I told you, my dad, when I was with my dad at my dad's house during the summer, I played Halo, and then when I got back, I learned that Halo 2 is coming out on Xbox, and Christmas was coming up. I couldn't tell you what year. If anybody watches this, knows anything about video games, or even knows Halo, they could tell me. My life's been too fast to realize it. But when Halo came out and the Xbox came out together, multiplayer, we got an Xbox that Christmas. It was a shared gift. I think it was like one of the only gifts that we got, and it was mine. Nobody else cared to play. They wanted to play. They didn't want to play like I wanted to play. I wanted it all. I saved up money. I bought a surround sound, monster speakers. Honestly, I don't know what they're like today at all, but I bought them then. And they lasted me, shoot, I went to the military and gave them to somebody else. I bought them when I was a kid, before I could drive, and then when I got out of the military, or when I went to the military, I gave them to somebody else. So, that being said, they work great. I used them as car speakers, put them in my car, came and brought a converter, a power converter, plugged that in, plugged all the speakers up, put them in their spots. Don't let anybody see it, sounds cool. Anyways, so, playing all those, doing all that, and life's kind of good. My mom actually, it was kind of cool. She, one summer, got really bored, I think. I don't know why. Wanted to paint. And she wanted to paint all our rooms. 3 kids, 3 rooms, 3 different themes. It wasn't just colors, she wanted themes. So she painted Connors. It was an underground, like, aquarium. Really, you sleep underground and in the water is what you are. There's sharks and fish and sea urchins and sea horses and everything you can think of is in there. Very pretty blue, some yellow, and just vibrant colors. It was cool for his age. It was real cool. What was cool on top of that was our stepdad, or Daryl. He made handmade beds, handmade custom wood beds, and they weren't just normal run of the mill either. They came with 6 to 12 drawers, depending on how he built it up, or I mean, they had chalkboards in them, or not video games, board games in them, and different things like that. It was real cool. So he got his bed in there, and then it was an aquarium. Mary was, I think I've said it a billion times. If I do this, I'm sorry. It's gonna take a little while. Mary's was a fairy tale land. Like, there was a waterfall in the background, and there was a waterfall in the background. That's all I can remember, honestly. Purplish pink. I don't really remember. I didn't live in it. I just know it was a fairy tale and there was a waterfall and I helped draw it. That's how I felt cool about it, because I helped draw the rock splash. My room, you had the best room in the house, aka the crossword room. One wall was a crossword puzzle, another word checkers and chess and backgammon. We stapled up some Velcro pads, and then we just cut out some fabric pieces and put the other Velcro pad on there. It was good. I'd whoop anybody's ass at tic-tac-toe. I know the rules. I know how to break them, or not break them. I know how to bend them. I know how to win. So don't play me. But yeah, man. And then my bed, custom red. That room was red, by the way. Red's the color to go with. And yeah, we lived all the way up until late high school, mid to late high school, happily. kind of. Everything's normal life stuff. But normal family-ish up until about then. So Daryl, thank you for giving us a break. At least giving me one before I knew the difference.